Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Transitions for More. I'm your host, Mike Urko, Marine Corps veteran. I've returned from Iraq and faced the challenges of PTSD, addiction, and grief to create a new life that is balanced and healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Each episode, I'll share some of my journey or interview inspiring veterans and subject matter experts to help us find that purpose and connection we all crave. You guys can follow the show on Instagram at Transitions for More. Join our TFW page on Facebook, Twitter, and transitionsformore.com. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email me at mike@transitionsformore.com. If you guys enjoy the show, please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Without any more dilly-dally, let's get to the interview. Matthew Mitchelson, welcome to the Transitions for More podcast. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well this morning, my friend. I appreciate being on your podcast and on your show this morning. Thank you.
Yeah. So what are you drinking this morning? Myself, I got some black coffee.
Well, I was a little lazy this morning. Just water in my Navy mug here. So
right on.
It's a little hot out here in the garage. So where I'm sitting down, and we've got PT almost immediately after we get off this podcast. So let's try to stay hydrated. So
I hear you, man. What's on tap for PT today?
Swim PT. It's going to be a swim PT this morning. We're going to try to do a mile in the pool, plus push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, the whole bit. So
I love that, man. I'm feeling envious because pools out here are open, but you have to have a reservation, and all the reservations that I can seem to get tend to be when I'm at work. So far hasn't worked out, but yeah, man. Well, I want to talk to you about what you're doing with Lazy Lab Hunting Club and everything you've got going on. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got started and what exactly it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am very long-winded, my friend. So
I like that. We got plenty of time.
We have plenty of time. All right, we'll get going. So yeah, Lazy Lab Hunting Club. I guess if I could start in 2004, a gentleman whom I'm pretty sure you probably knew, since we're from really the same location growing up. He was a fellow classmate of mine, graduated the same year in 2001. Well, we lost him in 2004 in Fallujah. And I won't say his name, but I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about.
I've got a poster of him on my wall behind me.
Oh my gosh, you do?
Yep.
You do. So so I was, I enlisted as well, coming in, shortly out of high school, and I was stationed down in Charleston at the time, and his loss severely impacted me as a sailor, getting trained up to work on submarines. I felt maybe that I wasn't doing enough to help our service community at large. And so that was my initial gut feeling about, losing, our friend. And so kind of chewed on that for 4 years of, how can I do better? How can I help those who have been severely impacted by his loss, as well as the loss of, our brothers and sisters throughout that time, during the war. So, so fast forward about 2008, I was lucky enough to be accepted to Annapolis. So, went there for 4 years, but in 2008, my best friend and I, who was still enlisted at the time, we came up with this idea. We looked at all these metrics and we said, look, who's enlisting in the service? Well, it's mostly men and women who are coming from rural areas that maybe don't have the opportunities to go to college or the money to go to a vocational school. And then we looked further into those metrics and said, and came to the conclusion that those individuals who were becoming disabled, combating PTSD, TBI, physical or emotional wounds, if you will, most of them came from southern regions in our country. And so then taking that to the third step, the next step forward, well, a lot of my family's from the South. A lot of them came from Oklahoma, Texas, and South Carolina. And we said, well, what do people do in the South? Well, they go hunting and fishing. That's part of the culture, right? So we said, all right, we've got the hunting and fishing piece. And then being an officer, the last, 11, 12 years, whatever it's been, I looked at how we were forcing folks with emotional pain. We're forcing them to go talk to chaplains. We're forcing them to go to hospitals and speak to psychiatrists. And I can honestly tell you, bro, that the feedback that I received back from my sailors specifically was not positive in nature. And so I came to this realization that, well, hey, why not try to help alleviate these burdens by taking the individuals to a place where they feel comfortable, not forcing them into an environment where they have to go talk to someone because we ordered them to.
Yeah, that never goes well, those forced conversations. It's like, no matter the best intentions, they just end up awkward, and people usually end up resenting them or just climbing up.
Well, that was the key right there, buddy. They clam up. They don't talk about whatever's on their heart, whatever's on their mind. So again, Mr. David DeRogers, best buddy, he's the co-founder of Lazy Lab Hunting Club. So what we decided to do is, again, bring these individuals into an environment where they're familiar, with hunting and fishing, and they're comfortable being in an environment that's outdoors and, in God's creation, right? Mm-hmm. Where they feel comfortable talking about their issues, whatever that may be. So we did that for about 12 years as a private outreach, doing all the fundraising and marketing and the operational piece, actually taking these men and women out on these trips all by ourselves. And then, fast forward to this last year, we had some great support. And we are now a 501 Charlie 3 nonprofit organization. And
that's outstanding.
Brother, I got to tell you, the individual that helped us get the 501 Charlie 3 designation and all that paperwork and all the legal, all that legal paperwork squared away, that was a blessing. And it has really helped us springboard just dramatically. It's unbelievable the support that we've received now as a nonprofit, and the things we have coming forward and the partnerships we've established to help people. I'm not afraid to talk about my faith. I think as you heard on the podcast with Matt Kuchera and conversations with Dave Cascante, I'm very open about my faith and my prayer life. And so I truly believe that what we're doing has we have this direction. I call it work-based theology. I believe that faith without works is dead. And that's biblical, right? Right. So that's what we're trying to do, brother. We're trying to serve God by loving people. So
I like that. It's not just something you say, but it's something you're actually doing. There's something powerful when things line up, because the mission is so critical and so important. So what exactly is it that people can get involved with, and how are people been involved? I've seen you've already had a number of missions and dozens of vets already served, and what goes on? How do people join up, and what's it like?
Great question. Well, let's see. How do people join up? Well, the first thing I would say to people is, take a look at our website at lazylabhc.org. You can see a few of our missions and upcoming hunting expeditions. I guess since we brought it up, I may as well chat about that. The first mission of Lazy Lab Hunting Club Ministry is kind of what I call the conduit. We identify men and women who may need just a little reprieve. They need to get out in God's creation. And so we talk to these folks. Usually they're recommended by third parties or friends, or we speak to the Wounded Warrior battalions. For example, we've had great success here at Camp Pendleton in SoCal. And so we bring these individuals in for these hunting and fishing trips, right? So there's a lot of opportunity for volunteers to get involved with that, mainly through support, donations. I mean, it takes a little bit of money to provide our 3-day hunting opportunities for these heroes. I consider everybody a hero who we help, and I truly believe that. So we have the hunting and fishing piece, right? We also have this beautiful partnership with Freedom Service Dogs of America, and they're out of Colorado. And reached out to them a number of weeks ago, probably two or 3 months ago, and informed them about our ministry and said, look, to give you an example, there are 40,000 disabled veterans that need support in the state of South Carolina. And I truly feel it's our duty to help these individuals. And these are people that are also combating, again, PTSD, TBI, physical and emotional injuries, right? So I said, I want to provide a service dog to those in need. And so they have an amazing program. And so our mission is called Talus Talks. And I can tell you about that offline, why we came to that.
Sure.
That title, but the program is that we help to identify and facilitate the hero with what we call the sustained treatment. So a free service dog to help them in their life. And so that also includes a 2-week training program. So we'll fly the individual from, Timbuktu, from Maryland or Texas or whatever, wherever that hero is. We fly them and their family to Colorado for this 2-week training program where they get to meet their new service dog. They get to meet the staff, and they get to learn about what the dog has gone through over the course of 2 or 3 years, right? And then they get to fly back with their new pup, and they get to, continue to build their lives in a positive manner. So you can help us. People can help us by truly supporting Freedom Service Dogs of America. Again, our partnership with them is crucial to what I believe is that healing process that so many people need.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the service dog world with a different organization, but the process, it seems pretty similar. You have a dog that's been trained up for a couple of years with other people, and then you bring in the individual who's going to be working with that and partnered with that dog, and they take a like a 2-week course, and basically you're not teaching the dog, you're teaching the person how to interact with the dog and all the commands the dog already knows. So, and then the bonding process as well. So it's a cool thing to see a person and a dog get bonded together. I had that process happen to myself. I got my dog Valor behind me somewhere. He's a lazy lab laying on the couch there.
There you go.
But yeah, he's been with me for about 1.5 years now, and it's a cool thing. It's hard to put into words how much it means to be able to be paired up with an animal that really is in sync with you.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, have experienced it, and the metrics don't lie. Buddy, I'm an engineering duty officer, so I live and die by metrics and contracts. Yeah, and so the metrics, and then just speaking to individuals afterwards who have gone through the program, who their lives are touched, and they're living fuller lives because they have that consistent support from their furry friend, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. The third mission, if I got time for that, of Lazy Lab.
Plenty of time, yeah.
Well, awesome. So the third mission is what we call Continued Blessings. Right now, we're in our infancy stages, and we've had talks with various organizations, construction companies from California all the way through South Carolina, to help build subsidized housing for veterans. We've identified various plots of land throughout the South, and right now we're really bringing those parties together on this. Really, we're looking at about a 3-year project to clear land, to build either apartment complexes or tiny homes for veterans in need, and just to kind of help them get back on their feet. So that's mission 3. So
That's a huge thing. That's awesome. That's so cool to hear. Because I mean, I working in the psychology field. I mean, I'm always looking at the hierarchy of needs, and it's hard to help people, discover their purpose, discover some of the deeper things going on within them, unless you have the basic needs, the food, water, shelter taken care of. And so that is huge. Well, so I'm pretty familiar with fishing. I mean, I love being out in the ocean. I have a little experience in the freshwater too, but I want to know about some of these hunting trips. What's it like to be going out with some of these vets and hunting deer and boar, right?
we do. So boar, we call them hog hunts. So I get this question a lot from folks who aren't necessarily familiar with going out and hunting. So our hunting trips, I consider them very high quality, high caliber events. And the focus, and let me tell you this honestly, my friend, the focus of our hunting trips is not on the harvest of game. Okay. And pardon my French on this, but I don't give a damn if I spend $3,000 on a 3-day hunt for a hero and he harvests nothing. That's not the focus. The focus is on fellowship. So I've produced or built what I call my Southeast Expeditions team. And that's led by former Army Lieutenant Colonel Bill Platt. And we have a medical officer. We have another liaison that assists with the hunt itself. But the thing that makes our hunts, so unique is that I've mandated that a chaplain is present for every single hunting expedition. Excuse me. And let me talk about that for a second. The chaplain is an individual that we're all very familiar with in the service, right? We understand that he or she is there to listen, not to push their particular faith or particular religion. They're there to help counsel. They're there to provide support.
Right.
So our chaplain, I call him our tactical chaplain. He is an active duty Army chaplain stationed down there at Fort Benning, and he accompanies every hunt that we have, from now going forward. And he is there to just be a presence if the individual decides to open up about whatever's on their heart, And I can honestly tell you, in the past, when I've been that presence, when I've taken individuals out, I've never had to pry. It's always been the hero just wanting to talk. Like I said, in an environment that is comfortable and they feel safe talking about their issues with brothers and sisters who understand where they're coming from. So the emphasis on these hunts, kind of getting back to it again, really is on the fellowship piece, the companionship. That's what I care about. Our slogan is, we're on the hunt to mend the heart. We're not on the hunt to harvest, the biggest deer or the fattest boar or anything like that. Right, I care about the heart of the individual. So you're going to go on a hunt. You're going to show up typically on Friday afternoons. We get that individual all squared away at the campsite. And then we go out immediately. And you're either in a tree stand or we just finished a couple of wheelchair accessible shoot houses down there on the property in Georgia. And then you're going to hunt all night. You're going to come back in. You're going to have good food. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Kent Rollins for our listeners who might not know who he is. I would encourage you to look him up. I call him the Cowboy Chef out of Southwest Oklahoma. He's coming down in Georgia to help feed our team. I also have Long Time Smoking which is a new partnership we recently established. They're another smoked barbecue group that's coming down to be part of the team and to feed the team and be there to support. So you're going to have all these people, my friend, that really care about the hero. This is an intimate hunting experience. This is, again, not just going out and shooting the biggest deer. This is about, bringing people together to help, again, on the hunt to mend the heart.
What I
So,
like about that is you're clear about the mission, being able to, you lay the groundwork, you do the work, you set the context up for people to be able to talk and say whatever's on their heart. It's so my listeners know I've been working for the VA for about 8 years now. And what I've noticed is that, okay, so there's the individual and group sessions where people will come and talk, and that's the mission. It's explicit there. But the some of the best healing happens like in between, like outside in the parking lot, just talking. Or, when we used to have we have a swim group that goes and, swims from Alcatraz to San Francisco, and it'd be on the car rides there and back, or just like, shooting the breeze after a swim. All of these things where the intention is like, yeah, we're there to swim, but we're really there for the fellowship, like you're talking about.
yeah, it's so critical, buddy. You hit the nail on the head, right? The activity is what I call the conduit, right? It's what brings you together. It's your interest. And then once you come together as that group, as that party, as that company, you're there to just express yourself freely without any sort of judgment, or really misconception, right? I mean, from our perspective, and I try to bring as many veterans and active duty personnel together as I can, because we all speak the same language. And so we understand, what it's like to be deployed. We understand what it means to leave your kids for months at a time. That sucks. There's
Yeah.
no sugarcoating it. It's miserable. And so when you can come into an environment of like-minded people that, again, have experienced the same struggles that you've experienced, you can open up about practically anything. So,
Yeah. And so one thing I was wondering too on this is it ever a problem with vets being able to handle weapons again? You ever find people who are gun shy?
quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. I mean, I've been in the service now for, a little over 18 years. Gosh, I'm getting old. My father did 26 years. 26 years. 26 years. My mother did 5 years, I believe, in the Army. Anyways, no, quite the contrary, man. I mean, bringing guys out to the field again into that safe, familiar environment where they were probably shooting guns, when they were 7 years old with daddy or grandpa, out
Yeah,
in the
no
field.
kidding.
So this again is an activity where they're like, shoot, yeah, let's go do it. Yeah, never had that issue, and we all are very safe. We're very, just like going to the range during qual time, right? Everything is very controlled and very, I would say, mechanical in nature. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
I'll tell you what, man, like I have a lot better time when I've gone out shooting with vets than I have going to a civilian range. There's something that I didn't expect, and it makes sense. I just wasn't ready for it. When I went to gone to a civilian range, that Evora range we know out in Concord, it's there's just so many people coming from so many different backgrounds who a lot of times don't know what they're doing at all. And I remember thinking, this is not quite as comfortable as being with my platoon where everybody knew how to handle a weapon, treat, never, keep. So it's, I can imagine it's just a lot more comfortable being with other vets, who know what's going on, have each other's back, know how to handle a weapon.
Oh, absolutely, bro. I got to tell you, we did a whole bunch of gun shoots, little long rifle gun competitions at the Laguna Seca rifle and pistol range there in Monterey, and it was wonderful bringing, mostly the folks that were stationed either at DLI or at PG school together. And we would just have this very safe environment. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. My little boy, my eldest son is Ryder, and we've got pictures of him on Facebook and, all over social media. Well, he was right there with his Mickey Mouse ears and his safety goggles and all
Yeah.
bundled up at 2 years old. 2 years old, he's out there on the range with mommy and daddy. And again, it's part of our culture. It's part of our military. What's familiar to us, and it's, again, safe environment. I wouldn't take my son out to an environment that I didn't feel was absolutely safe.
True.
And I can tell you, I feel safest when I'm around my brothers and sisters who have served or are currently serving. So
Yeah, there's something that it's hard to explain to civilians, at least ones who have not been around the military, how big it is, to how much of a part of the culture firearms are and what exactly they mean. So, for you personally, what's your favorite thing to hunt or to fish?
Oh, for me personally, oh
Yeah,
boy.
or
You,
top
you,
three, let's say.
you put a nickel in the jukebox, my friend. You're gonna have to let the whole song play. I gotta tell you, I've had the opportunity to hunt in beautiful places in our country, from California, Texas, Michigan, South Carolina. I mean, huge, beautiful whitetail deer, mule deer here in SoCal. I can tell you that my favorite harvest or my favorite experience has been when I'm bow hunting on the base at Camp Pendleton. Uh, I would argue that the most difficult hunting in the world for large game happens in the southwest region of the United States for mule deer. And I've only taken one what we call a three by three buck. That was with a rifle, but I've had plenty of opportunity to get on a mule deer with my bow, and even this season, I've been out a couple times already, and I blew it by spooking the buck at 41 yards. So it's 41 yards on top of him looking down, and I stood up too quickly to draw my bow, and I spooked him, and that's I'm still frustrated about that.
Yeah, it's still fresh.
It's still a bird in my saddle, that's for sure. So I love taking my boys out rabbit hunting as well. There's something just so cool about teaching the younger generation about being a conservationist, being loving and caring for the environment, because I hate to say it, man, but hunting and fishing in this country is dying. If you look at the metrics, and I know I use that phrase a lot, but it's true, right? In the United States, it's getting harder and harder to hunt on public land, and the cost of hunting licenses just here in California continue to go up, and it makes it very difficult to afford, really, to go out for a lot of people. But it is something that I am, again, very passionate about, and I want to see my sons and my daughter grow up in this environment where you care about the animals. I got to tell you, man, before we get out of the truck, it doesn't matter if we're doing a personal hunt or a Lazy Lab hunting club hunt. We always pray. We thank God for the opportunity. We thank God for the harvest, if there is any, and then we pray afterwards. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for allowing us to enjoy this fellowship. And this is the kind of culture that I'm trying to instill in my children when we go out rabbit hunting right now. They're still too young to go out deer hunting or hog hunting, but I take them on duck hunts. I've taken them on plenty of rabbit hunts this year, and yeah, but I'd say mule deer with my bow and rabbit with my shotgun are probably my two favorite. But I can't wait to get up to, say, Washington State or Montana on a couple of elk. So
I bet. Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, what I love too is just the spirit of gratitude, and what you come by this with, it's something it's something that's changed my life. When I race or when I do something significant in service of other people, that attitude or that spirit of gratitude really sets the stage for something special to happen. And I love the idea and the spirit of conservationists. Like person most of us might be familiar with, Steve Rinella, um, who wrote the book Meat Eater and now has the television series and all that. It just really embodies what it is like to love the environment, love the animals, but yet hunt them, which is a paradox for some people to be able to wrap their heads around how you could possibly love animals but still kill them. And I don't think
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to explain it to people. It's something I think you feel.
Well, I mean, you're right, buddy. I cannot tell you how how many times I have been ridiculed on public forums because I express my views and opinions on the harvesting of wild game, as well as fish. Um, and folks in this country, you just don't really understand it because it's not a necessity, right? You don't have to go hunting. You don't have to go fishing. We've got plenty of farmed, raised opportunities for you to get your meat in the grocery store, so you don't have to get your hands dirty, right? And that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. Um, and I got to tell you, it was a little heartbreaking to be called some pretty serious names,
Yeah.
in that regard. So, but yeah, it's something about appreciating where your clean protein comes from. And when you talk about raising healthy sons and healthy daughters, I think it's crucial for them to understand exactly where the food that they're putting in their bellies is coming from, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah.
It's a special attitude, and I love that. It's something I'm trying to pass on to my son and my daughter. It's because I don't think I've ever felt being out. Um, I've never gone hunting. I think the closest thing I've done to hunting is, besides fishing, is spear fishing, where you're actually
Mm,
seeing the fish you're going to shoot there, and just that feeling of just immense gratitude for that animal whose life you're taking, and it's going to sustain you. It's going to nourish your body. There's
mhm.
something that can't completely be explained unless you experience it, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's all God's creation, man. And I truly believe, as long as we take care of the environment, and again, we're very thankful for what is given to us, what's in front of us. I think if you have that kind of attitude and positivity on the matter, whether it be the spearfishing or hunting or normal casting or whatever, that's the right attitude. You're instilling the right lessons into your son, your daughter, and good on you, man. No, that's a great thing. So.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure that our listeners know how exactly they can support you. And for those who might be interested in going on one of these expeditions, how they can get in contact. We'll put the links in the show notes, of course. So everyone go ahead and check out the show notes for those links right now. But what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Oh, wow. So we've got plenty of opportunities and conduits to get in touch either with myself or anyone on my staff. I think one of the best ways is to like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, simply Lazy Lab Hunting Club. You can go to our website, and one of our emails, the email that puts you directly in touch with our public affairs officer, is info@lazylabhc.org. Or please feel free to hit me up. I have a Facebook page. All of my contact information is easily accessible online. I'm also stationed down at 32nd Street here in San Diego, so I'm in the global for any of our active duty service members listening on the show. So you can easily get in touch with me. So,
Perfect. Yeah, we'll have that up on there. So, Matthew, thank you so much for being a part of the Transitions for More podcast, man. I love to hear what you're doing, and I'm excited. And I'm thinking of the next time I'm going to go out fishing, and I'm just getting more and more excited about it.
Well, good, my friend. Anytime, if we can get you out on a hunt or a fishing trip where you can meet these heroes and be part of our Lazy Lab Hunting Club family, please, man, I'd love to have you. I really would.
Oh, I'm probably going to take you up on that. So, all right, everybody, tune in next week, and we will be back. All right, everyone, that'll do it for this week of Transitions for More. Go ahead and subscribe to the show, follow it. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me, mike@transitionsformore.com with any questions or ideas for the show. And please send the show to people you know who might need to listen to it. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you get a chance. And just thanks for listening. All right, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.